John Hillaby has been described as one of the world's greatest walkers. His books have charted his long journeys, the length of Britain, the spread of Europe from the North Sea to the Mediterranean by way of the Alps, and through the deserts of East Africa. Hillaby is an all-round naturalist and historian, but his roots are firmly in his native Yorkshire. Today, he's back in his home country, in another role as a storyteller.
Now, you may wonder why I'm here today at Fairburn Ings on this wonderful autumn morning. Well, before I tell you, let's have a look around the place.
These cooling towers, these chimneys are those of the huge electricity generating station at Ferry Bridge, near Pontefract. Below them lies Fairburn Ings, a nature reserve which stands 4 square on one of our national coal cellars, a storehouse of power.
Naturalists know that if it were possible to go up and up and up and up in a balloon and stay there suspended for several hundred years, they would notice a number of very, very curious things happening on the ground below.
Over the course of a long period of time, lakes and ponds and places where there is a fair amount of standing water tend to shrink. They usually get smaller. The vegetation closes in on them. What used to be the haunt of fish and wildfowl often becomes a swamp. The process is normally one of drying out, but here at Fairburn Ings, the process has gone into reverse. Because of the subsidence caused by the mining deep underground, the ponds are getting bigger and bigger. They have sprung up in different places. One of them appeared almost overnight.
These 600 acres are now one of Britain's most improbable nature reserves.
Even from the roadside you can see scores of ducks, geese and swans, up to 200 at a time. Most of them common species and tame. But if you come along with field glasses at this time of the year, you may see visitors from the Arctic tundra. They are these whooper swans with their yellow bills and a flight call like a trumpet. Power stations devour coal, and these barges are carrying it from Fryston Colliery to the generating furnaces of Ferry Bridge. They are chugging along the canalised section of the River Aire, which used to meander through a swamp. The low-lying land has seen many changes from wildfowling and farming to the coal mining industry, but none so strange perhaps as that which is taking place today. Essentially, this is a man-made nature reserve owned by the National Coal Board. People come here to enjoy themselves, not just local folk like these 2 regulars who love the place, but naturalists from miles away. When it was declared a nature reserve by the West Riding County Council about 30 years ago, it was looked after by a devoted group of local wardens. Nowadays, it's come under the sheltering wing of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. How do you make a nature reserve? Well, first and foremost, you need healthy vegetation, and the more mixed, the better. And here, between some alder trees and pine which have been planted, are birch, the graceful pioneers of the woodlands of tomorrow. They can grow almost anywhere. In fact, these banks were built out of coal, the spoil of a century of mining. Nature can put a skin over our industrial wounds, but to do it well, she needs help. The key word is management all the year round, and Fairburn, under the guidance of the RSPB, is being looked after by my old friend Steve Madge, who, in every sense of the word, is a man for all seasons. Steve patrols the reserve, keeping an eye on the embankments, the little backwaters, the reedy ponds, and the sheets of shining water. Birds come here for food and also for protection. They seem to sense they are safe, although, by and large, they are less timid at this time of the year. But if you want to see the more elusive ones at close quarters, the place to do it is from a well-camouflaged hide, such as this. I've seen it packed with bird watchers, with others waiting outside to get in. But not today. And there's not really a lot moving outside. But, hey, wait a minute. Listen to that strange... That's a little grebe, or dabchick, a shy creature with a habit of bobbing underwater. There he is. You don't often notice them without field glasses. And now, another bird. This chap, with his handsome plumage and great big bill like a flattened spoon, is the shoveler. In company with more than 70 other different kinds of birds, they breed here. Over 300 shoveler have been seen on the water at the same time. Now, I want to say something about bird song. Birds sing to get their girlfriends, but that's not really what they're singing about. You could put it this way, that at this time of the year, all these birds are absolutely up to their throats in the estate business. That thrush, now listen again, dee-dee, dee-dee, it's saying, this is mine, keep away, I want this. So, there again, they're establishing territory. They're making homes for themselves. But let's face it, it sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Sunshine and shade, natural history and heavy industry. Fairburn, the stream among the ferns, is a study in contrast. It certainly is our most improbable nature reserve.
Now, we're at the very height of summer. You can see it by the waterside, you can see it in the hedgerows, you can see it everywhere, but you can't hear it. Listen, there's no sound except that melancholy doo-doo from one dove. But still, what we've lost in the way of bird song, we've gained in the way of flowers. The names don't really matter. I mean, round here, you've seen this Himalayan balsam, and that's pretty enough stuff in its own right. Also, you haven't got to look very far. There's meadow sweet. There's, oh yes, just down there, there's a bit of yellow toad flax. And flowers, flowers everywhere. I say over 300, think of that. And that is part of the sheer beauty of the place.
In my walks, I've seen many, many nature reserves, but never before one within sight of a great colliery and bounded by the spoil of its product. Yet here, as anyone can see, are innumerable sections of the very web of life. In the air, on the water, and all around, as if in the very heart of the country, is an oasis amid modern industry. Towards evening, when the mists come off the marsh, the impression is of a Japanese print, so airy, so delicate it seems. But when the light thickens and the great towers turn to gold, Fairburn has about it the touch of splendor.